Welcome back to Generation Rogue. I've been off the grid for a couple weeks, but we have lots to discuss today. First of all, as of this morning, TikTok is banned in the United States. How could this be? Is this the end of the illusion of free speech in the United States? Meanwhile, our culture is falling to bits, and the internet has some thoughts about Carrie Underwood's upcoming performance at the Trump inauguration. Stay tuned. So TikTok is banned and the world is freaking out. And by the world, I mean the United States, because places like Canada, of course, already don't have free speech. And if you have been living under a rock and haven't learned anything over the last 5 years, really, we don't have free speech either, which is why I'm honestly surprised this ban took so long. And there's a couple of points regarding this that I want to touch on. First of all, the excuse about China stealing our information is just it's laughable. If you haven't been paying attention since COVID, you might miss the joke, but the idea that the US government is doing this for our own protection, it's just a lie. It's ridiculous. I don't know who's buying that. There is so much evidence of CCP infiltration with compliance from the US government. Thousands and thousands of military-aged men pouring across our borders over the last 4 years, and we're all supposed to pretend like we didn't see that. The US is way too dependent on China, not to mention the Wuhan lab during COVID. The US government allowing the Chinese to buy up farmland conveniently, so conveniently, located near major military bases. It's too much. So, the fact that the US government is saying, "Oh, it's for your own protection," what they're really saying is that they don't like people talking to each other. They don't like the free communication. Why is there so much censorship on US-based social media like Facebook? It's because those platforms are easy to control. You heard it from Zuckerberg himself a week or so ago. "Oh, I felt pressured." Regardless of this his attempt to suggest that there will be less censorship moving forward, the fact is that platforms like Facebook and YouTube are very easy for the US government to control. So that the wrong, quote unquote, wrong messaging is censored and the narrative that they want is front and center and all you can see. TikTok doesn't work that way. And I'm not even a fan of TikTok. I don't like it. Most of the content I see on there is super annoying. A lot of the people that use it religiously and are on it all the time are annoying. Obviously, there are exceptions to that, but for the most part, there's just a lot of stuff on TikTok that I don't like. I don't like the culture of TikTok, but regardless of that, um, people all over the world are communicating via TikTok with very little or no censorship, which means people can report the news and put it on TikTok, and anyone can watch it. Basically, TikTok allowed any citizen of the world to report local events firsthand, and it was available for everyone to see. That's an incredible thing. But it's also a very dangerous thing if you're a powerful world government that has a very strategic plan instead of narratives and restricted list of information that you don't want the public to know about. If you can't control the platform, you can't control the information. If you can't control the information, you've lost your grip on whatever narrative it is you're trying to promote. And if you don't have control of the narrative, people might just start thinking for themselves. Wild. Now, as for the ban itself, apparently President Trump wants to take a closer look at it after he's officially sworn in to see if he wants to reinstate it or not. But let's be honest. If this actually was about the Chinese getting our information, the Chinese would just make a different app. There are probably loads of apps and programs in the background. They could easily put on people's phones if they wanted to. If you have an Apple phone, guess who's one of the main manufacturers? China. Okay. So if they wanted to steal your information, they already have every opportunity to do so, whether or not you have TikTok on your phone. And at the end of the day, I don't like being told what to do, what information I should and should not have access to. And I think the majority of Americans probably feel similarly. The US government is not our mommy, and we are not children. And if anything, this whole TikTok ban just goes to show that instead of focusing on banning things that are actually harmful, like porn, like maybe banning an open border, like maybe being more serious about that, they want to focus on TikTok. And that should tell you everything you need to know right there. Speaking of porn, we have to talk about Lily Phillips because she's back with another self destructive, disgusting exploit. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about Heaven's Harvest emergency food kits. Not only are these great to keep around your house in case of a crisis, I ordered a couple of bucket packages a couple of weeks ago. They're also delicious and great for camping, hunting, fishing, or any activity on the go. Their meals are packed in Mylar foil, which is NASA grade packaging. It's moisture, UV, and radiation resistant. Their meals have a 10-year shelf life and are made and packaged in the USA. In addition to their delicious meal kits, right now, of course, we're in the middle of winter. It's cold, it's snowing, and gardening might be low on your list of priorities, but there's actually no better time to start getting ready for spring with Heaven's Harvest seeds. Every fruit or vegetable you can think of in resealable bags. You can plan your spring and summer harvests more effectively than ever. I'm so excited to plant these this year, you guys. I don't think you understand how excited I am. Produce has gotten so expensive, and the quality is just not good in a lot of places. There is something Produce has gotten so expensive and the quality is just not good in a lot of places. There is something so fulfilling about being able to grow and harvest your favorite produce from home. So, there's something for everyone. Stock up on seeds for spring and emergency meals by going to heavensharvest.com/Kate and use promo code Kate for 10% off. Oh gosh. I've been trying to get off soda, but my gosh, just every once in a while just hits the spot, right? Okay. So, Lily Phillips. By the way, if there are any children running around nearby, I'd recommend turning your volume down for this next segment. Um, if you aren't familiar with Lily Phillips, she is an OnlyFans quote unquote model. She's actually a prostitute. It's a euphemism for prostitute. A couple months ago, she organized a challenge where she invited 100 men to come and have sex with her in one day. As you can probably tell from just that statement, this woman is mentally ill. They filmed her afterwards and she kind of had like a mental breakdown. She cried on camera and had to leave. It was awful. And despite that, Lily Phillips has decided that her next challenge will be to invite 1,000 men to have anal sex with her in one day. This woman is suicidal. I don't know what else to say about this. She's calling it the quote unquote backdoor challenge. And apparently it's turned into some kind of sick competition between Lily and some woman called Bonnie Blue, who apparently had already broken the record of sleeping with 1,000 guys in one day. Our culture is falling apart, you guys. All I can say about this is number one, I wish people would stop referring to these women as OnlyFans models or sex workers, even. or using euphemisms that normalize or even praise this kind of degenerate behavior, how about how about we be honest? These women are prostitutes, and I do believe they are severely mentally ill to think this kind of behavior is normal or okay or safe. We can talk about how damaging something like this is to your soul and your psyche and your brain all day long, but this is also actually physically unsafe. Lily Phillips is going to be in diapers after this. I have no doubt. I can't wrap my head around it. So, at worst, she's somehow being forced into this. At best, she's mentally ill and needs a therapist, a psychiatrist, a priest, all of the above for her own safety. So, keep an eye on that. Keep your kids off the internet. It's a jungle out there, you guys. All right, that is enough of that. On a lighter note, Carrie Underwood is reportedly performing at Trump's inauguration tomorrow. I hope you're ready for that. Before we talk about some of those mixed reactions, I want to remind you about Amalo tallow. If you are not using tallow yet, it is winter. The heaters are on. Our skin is dry. This is what it looks like, if you can see it. There we go. Nice. So this is tallow that is whipped with almond oil. It's super gentle. It's spreadable. It won't clog your pores. Um, it's all natural. It's literally 2 ingredients: tallow and almond oil. It'll give your skin a break from the overload of ingredients that are in most skincare products these days. I have super sensitive skin, acne-prone skin, and this has been the perfect everyday go-to to keep my skin healthy and happy. I've gone through 3 jars of this unscented version so far. They also have scented options if you like something with scent. Clean Cloud is my favorite, but they also have vanilla lavender, which is very nice. And they just added 2 new scents that I'm super pumped to try out. They now have a vanilla latte scent and an orange creamsicle scent. That sound amazing. I'm so excited. Anyway, take care of your skin this winter season and support US made products. Amalo is a small family owned business, which makes it even better. There's really no downside to this. So go to amalo.com/Kate. That's Amalo, AMALLOW.com/Kate, and get yours today. Ugh, I'm so excited. I love Carrie Underwood. I've seen quite a few people on Twitter doing polls of like who's a better singer, Carrie Underwood or Taylor Swift. And thankfully, most of the reactions were pretty based. This person says Carrie Underwood can sing a lot better than Taylor Swift and is a lot hotter than Taylor Swift. Yes, sir. I concur. This person says 100% Carrie Underwood. This other person says it's not even close. Carrie. More people. Carrie all day and night. 100% here. Every real-blooded American prefers Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood is so wholesome. And my personal favorite, Riley Gaines, says anyone with functioning ears would prefer Carrie Underwood to Taylor Swift. I mean, yeah. I never thought that Taylor was that great of a singer. I was actually a big fan when she first started just because she never had an amazing voice, but she was a good songwriter back when her songs were actually saying something meaningful or telling an interesting story, which doesn't really happen anymore. So you couple the not having a great voice with not having interesting songs, and you have just blah, basically. And that's a problem that Carrie does not have, thankfully. She has an amazing voice. Her songs are amazing. No complaints here. So this is great. A lot of people are supporting her, but just like any other celebrity who steps out of line, by definition, from the left. She's getting some nasty reactions as well. People saying this will be the end of her career, they won't support her anymore, etc. And Carrie Underwood made a statement on her upcoming performance saying, quote, "I love our country and am honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and to be a small part of this historic event." Underwood, who will be joined by the Armed Forces Choir and the United States Naval Academy Glee Club, said in a statement, quote, "I am humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all come together in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." End quote. That's really all there is to it. The people who are upset at her are still throwing a fit, having a toddler tantrum about the election outcome. But now, as usual, they are continuing the immaturity by attacking the performers. It's so immature and at this point so boring. The left needs to get over themselves. This is getting tiresome. Carrie Underwood is a great singer, and I'm very excited to watch her perform tomorrow at the inauguration. It's going to be a great time. If you have not heard of 7 Weeks Coffee, today is your lucky day. 7 Weeks Coffee is called 7 Weeks Coffee because, did you know, at 7 weeks of pregnancy, a baby is the size of a coffee bean? With each order of 7 Weeks Coffee purchase, you will be directly helping to fund over 1,000 pro-life organizations across the country. On top of their incredible mission, they source their coffee directly from from farmers. They oversee every step of the process, from planting to harvesting, to processing to shipping, ensuring complete transparency and quality. So, click the link in the description or go to 7weekscoffee.com and use promo code KATE for 10% off. Drink more coffee, save more lives. What could be better than that? So, a couple things you should be aware of this week if you aren't already, in addition to the things that we have just talked about. Ariana Grande, what? I know I've talked about the release of Wicked before on this show. I'll leave a link to that episode below. But interestingly, Ariana Grande has admitted in an interview to being an actual witch. Like, not jokingly at all. She was like, "I'm not kidding. I'm a witch." Listen to this clip.
So here's a clip done in an interview with Ariana Grande talking about that very thing.
But is there an in-between anywhere where like craft
Absolutely.
meets the universe?
Yeah. I'm somewhere in between. I've learned. I don't know. I sit somewhere between being a literal witch, I'm not kidding, and being like the most realistic, cut, dry, like, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. I feel like I'm my most productive when I am open and also when I pretend no one's ever going to hear it. That's when I'm my best, I think.
At what point in the process do you have to be reminded that people will hear it?
When it's over.
Got it.
And then I backtrack many steps and I clean things up and I figure it out. Just kidding.
Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
So she's admitting that she's a witch.
I mean, we didn't say it.
Right. She said it.
She said it.
Literal witch. She said it twice.
She emphasized it.
So I don't want to hear one more person say that witchcraft isn't real, that Hollywood isn't swarming with it and saturated with it. They aren't even trying to hide it. And this isn't new. I just thought it was interesting with all the hype from the movie recently. And Ariana Grande, of course, playing Glinda, the good witch in the movie. People are pointing out differences in her appearance before and after filming the movie. And, you know, in one of her promo interviews, she admitted to being a literal witch. So, interesting. I think it's relevant to point that out, just that she admitted it, because the stuff is real. It's everywhere. And it's important to always be on the lookout in pop culture as well as in politics. I mean, obviously there's a lot going on in politics, but you know, obviously the entertainment industry has kind of been an escape for a lot of people, but it's there too. Strange things happening in both in both areas here. And lastly, Trump has announced that his administration will only recognize 2 genders. And the transgender lunacy will stop. This makes me so hopeful. I miss the days when people were more grounded in reality, when there was, a difference between feelings and facts. So I think this is heading in the right direction. I'm very excited that Trump has been vocal about this and continues to be vocal about this. And I'm hoping he'll do a lot for women's sports and women's private spaces as well. This is exciting stuff. One more thing I almost forgot to mention. If you were following my old Generation Rogue channel, that channel is no longer active. I'm no longer affiliated with Daily Clout. I will not be on there anymore. So I'm only on these platforms, the ones that I have listed below. This new Rumble channel you can follow. New videos will be posted here. They'll also be streamed to my Twitter account, my X account, at Kate Hildreth. That link is also below. I have a Substack, and I also post on Instagram occasionally. However, we do love the free speech oriented platforms like X and Rumble. So those are the big ones, and Substack, of course. So if you do want to stay updated on my new content, please do follow me on those new channels. I would really appreciate it. I hope you all are staying warm. I hope you all are ready to make America great again. Stay awake, stay curious, and I will see you next time.